to the Real CP Show. I am your host, CP. And today's topic, this extremely violent, mysterious woman. Repeat, this mysterious woman who boomed an eatery in Russia. And this see nothingness that I observed that was happening and relating to this story was basically blatantly left off of many main medianness and many others. And it was on purpose. Because remember, be it within Section of America or be it in some other countries, once applies to in sections of it. When you say the word woman, the woman is looked at as an esteemness of angelicness, while the feminists, the demon feminists and the sister of chaos members and et cetera, this is what they do when you have certain type of gullible type males who don't use their skulls to see behind the looks. Yes. And there are numbers of women, numbers of feminist type women, numbers of one who play defense, right? They will line up to sit there and they will fall off a cliff before they admit that numbers of women are evilness toward males. Do you understand? Once applies to. But it's just numbers of males that are still far behind on what's going on. And so the thing about it is, you'll have numbers of men and some other people that do just like this. When you start talking about stories like this, when he's dealing with an extremely vile, mysterious woman who committed a booming terroristic act, and they get quiet once a woman. This is what they do.
Oh, brings it here into the bed. Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
Yes. That is what certain types of males do. When it's a woman who's committing violence, criminality. Yes. You say, what do they do when they hear something about a woman committing violence, criminality, and this type, and especially at this level, what do numbers of them do?
Oh, brings it here into the bed. Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
Yes. And the system loves it. And the feminist system loves it. Yes. So let's go ahead and share my screen on this part. Make sure you can see this. Boom. A boomness, vileness, piece of destruction equipment was carried by this mysterious woman, and it which unalived 3, injures 21 near a Moscow in Russia restaurant, authorities say. Today is August 11th, 2026. Summary: a destructive, booming piece of destructionary equipment exploded near a central Moscow restaurant, unaliving 3 and injuring at least 21. Authorities are investigating the attack, but no group has claimed responsibilities. Moscow, a homemade boom piece of equipment carried by a woman, unalived 3 people and injured at least 21 in an explosion near an upscale restaurant in central Moscow in Russia on Saturday evening, the authorities said. The explosion occurred just before 2000 local time, which is about 8 o'clock, close to an Italian restaurant located in one of Moscow's 7 Stalin-era skyscrapers at such and such square. The enforcement personnel said. Russia's anti-terrorism committee said that an unidentified woman had tried to get into the restaurant but was stopped by a security guard. The state RIA news agency confirmed or reported. It said the woman The security guard and a customer at the Balzi Rossi Italian restaurant had been unalive in the blast that followed. Mm, mm, mm. Those injured received wounds of various seriousness, the enforcement people said. Russia's state RIA news agency released video of heavily armed law enforcement officers at the scene, which had been closed off to the public. The authorities did not name those unalive or injured, nor did they say who they thought might have been responsible. More than 4 years into a full-scale war with Ukraine, Russia's FSB security services said earlier that this year that authorities will step up protection for high-ranking military officials after a series of assassinations and attempted unalivements. It blamed on Kyiv. The Kommersant daily newspaper cited its own sources as saying that the boom boom piece of terrorist equipment had been intended to maim an unalive guests who were enjoying themselves on the restaurant's summer terrace outside. It suggested that the boom boom piece of terrorist equipment had been set off by someone else remotely, and that the woman, watch this, watch the minimizing, carrying it may not have known that it was an explosive device. Do you see the minimizing of that? Let me relay this over again. It suggests that the boom boom piece of terrorist equipment had been set off by someone else remotely, and that the woman, the innocent angelic woman, she was just nothingness. Oh my goodness, she didn't know any better. Carrying it may not have known that it was an explosive device. The restaurant's website said the venue had been closed on Saturday for a private event. Do you see what just happened, right? They sat there and tried to minimize that this was a woman who did this, as if there's no women terroristic people out there on this planet, and there are. I've done various podcasts on this. And it's a sad thing, but it's a brilliant thing that this system is a brilliant system, because it tells males that you just have to look at women on the outside as angelic. And see, I do these podcasts not for a lot of views. I don't care either way. It would be nice to have more views. Some people get more views, some people don't. But I've noticed when you start talking about realistic information, you don't get a lot of views, and that's fine. I do this not for right now. I do this for what's down the road, 4 or 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 6 months down the road, 3 months down the road. Maybe somebody take a look at this and say, wow, that was interesting on that situation. So when I sit there and saw this, I was like this. I'm like, what? Because again, there are numbers of males who will not look behind or beyond a woman's outside looks, right? They don't sit there and see numbers of women that look like this, that have this vile demon look toward males, right? They only see this sweetness look. Well, the ones that show the facade, but behind those eyes are the eyes of death, the eyes of violence, the eyes of demoness toward males that they use every day. The last thing I want to sit there and show you is this quick little video. Again, I'm utilizing this under fair uses doctrine and what I call timepiece purposes, because time does not forget what's in history. Only people do.
Moscow's mayor is calling an explosion that happened at a restaurant here in the Russian capital on Saturday evening an act of terrorism. Now, so far, the Russian authorities, of course, are still in the early stages of investigating exactly what happened there. But what we've gleaned so far is that apparently at 8 p.m. on Saturday evening, there was a private event going on in this upscale restaurant that is right in the heart of the Russian capital. One of the security guards who was on duty there noticed a courier, a woman, coming to the entrance with a package. He then searched the security guards who was on duty there, noticed a courier, a woman, coming to the entrance with a package. He then searched that woman, and that is when a bomb detonated that seems to have been inside that package. The security guard was killed, the woman was killed, and another bystander, a customer of the restaurant, was also killed as well. So far, the Russians have not said who they believe was behind all of this or who they believe the target was of this attack. In the past, however, in similar instances, the Russians have pointed the finger of blame at the Ukrainians. In 2023, a well-known Russian blogger was killed, and over the past couple of years, several Russian generals were killed right here in Moscow in bomb attacks as well. And in those instances, the Russians have blamed the Ukrainians, specifically the Ukrainian military intelligence. Right now, however, the investigation is still very much in the early stages, but of course, it does come as security here in the Russian capital remains on high alert. Moscow's mayor has called an explosion that happened at a restaurant here in the Russian capital on Saturday evening an act of terrorism.
Mm.
Sir, I'm telling you to get
Mm. 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 This is something very wow. So the thing about it is, this is some super serious things that it is forgotten that how serious that in various parts of world politics is very dangerous. But again, you have some people that do just like this.
Oh, brings it here into the bed. Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.